Welcome back into the Sports Source, this segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems. This past week, the folks there had to come by my home, take care of an issue for me. They were as quick and friendly and professional as always. Best service of safety, security, and home entertainment systems in East Tennessee. Not only do they sell them, not only do they install them, they service them. Great people. Get in touch with VFL JJ Surlis and the team at Safety Systems this week. 20 years they've been doing it this year, so 20 years in the business. Safety Systems. Okay, Tennessee needs to get down to the 85-man scholarship limit. They are over 90 at the moment. You are going to see some of the guys who were put on scholarship for that final semester, they're going to go back off scholarship. That will help you in that way. But there are also some players whose status is kind of up in the air at the moment. Let's start. I'll throw it out there and just let you guys run with it. Cade Mays, still waiting on the Georgia transfer. It looked earlier this year like there may be a free pass given to all the people transferring. Not so. That didn't get passed. That got pushed back in terms of giving everybody a one-time waiver. So the status on Cade Mays, gentlemen.
I would still be optimistic. You're right. It would have been a lot easier if they just said, yeah, one time, you're good. So Cade would have automatically been cleared. I think returning close to home and leaving Georgia to go back to Knoxville, I would still be optimistic if I'm Tennessee.
Yeah, I think there's a great case for him to be able to be eligible, but it's not good business to try to predict what the NCAA is going to do. Remember last year, we didn't find out about Aubrey Solomon until just before the season started. Pruitt was like, well, we're preparing Casey's there, and he ended up being eligible. And you've obviously had the basketball Euros Plavsic example as well. You just never know what their timetable is. And how does this pandemic set them back in their order of business with these kind of things? But I do think he will, in the end, it might not be to the last minute, I would expect him to be eligible.
Yeah, the interesting thing there is you've got people at the NCAA offices who haven't been in the NCAA offices during this, you would assume. So how much does it delay? And he's going to be one of hundreds of players looking to transfer.
Yeah, but John, that's impossible to do virtually. I mean, you can't make a decision on something like that.
If it were me and I were the NCAA, I'd be saying free pass for COVID. Everybody gets to go wherever they want. Rubber stamp it this year. But it'll be interesting to see how that one gets handled. I would agree with you. I think that he'll get cleared. I think he'll get it by finger. All right. Running back Tim Jordan, arrested a couple of weeks ago in Florida, had marijuana and a gun in the car. When that first came down, my first thought was, well, for that kind of issue, probably a 2-game suspension. You look at the numbers, however, need to get down on the scholarship limit. Thoughts on Tim Jordan returning? He's not on campus right now.
This makes it harder. I mean, if you're Jeremy Pruitt and you're looking at guys and you have to make some tough decisions, well, if you have one guy that's messed up off the field and you're waiting to see how that's going to play out, it's easier to say, well, I'm sorry. So this makes it tougher for Tim Jordan, I would say, no doubt.
Yeah, I think the question is when does Pruitt make a decision on Tim Jordan? Does he wait to see if there's attrition? Does anyone go on medical? Does anyone decide to jump in that transfer portal after some of these initial workouts? When he makes a decision, to me, is the most interesting thing. And he has some value, but he's not a critical piece that you can't move forward without, which obviously it's tough for Tim Jordan that he's put himself in this situation. So I don't know, but it's not a good thing for him because he's just not in one of those leverage spots as a player.
Right, and I don't know, is he not back because of the legal issues in leaving the state of Florida, or is he not back because they said, well, you might as well not come back? We'll find out at some point. Another guy who had been dismissed last year, but it looked like pre-COVID he was going to work his way back onto this team. That's Jeremy Banks, linebacker and part-time running back. You wonder if somehow he and Jordan have a connection there in terms of one goes and, well, we can use you at this spot. But thoughts on Jeremy Banks' chances of returning? Again, scholarships are tight, but this is someone who Jeremy Pruitt had gone on WNML and talked about the fact that he looked like he was stepping in the right direction.
Yeah, I think he has a soft spot for Jeremy Banks. I think he genuinely does like him and want to help him however he can. But their situation with the scholarships right now, and as well as things have gone, and the ability for him to hold his players with more accountability because of the numbers and the competition that they have, I think it would be difficult. Maybe he takes all that's going on in the world into consideration as well, to maybe say, hey, we just can't do it right now. Let me help you find another spot. I think that would be more likely than him returning. I would think that it would be tough for him to return, Josh.
Yeah, I still lean toward him being back at Tennessee.
Really?
I don't know that, but I still lean toward him coming back, partly because he hasn't left yet and that he stayed around and by all accounts has done everything right. If something changes in that regard, then that would change his ability to come back. Numbers will be tight, but I've still leaned toward Jeremy Banks returning to Tennessee.
Another person I've been asked about, everybody asks about Trey Smith, because of obviously his background, the clots, and the fact that this COVID thing attacks the lungs. A lot of people ask him, what's his situation? They're not going to really tell you what his situation is due to the HIPAA rules. You're not going to get here's the Trey Smith update. But the assumption is he is on path to be back on the team and be ready, and there's nothing slowing him down. He's being treated like everyone else, supposedly. Any thoughts, any word, anything you've heard on Trey Smith?
Yeah, that seems to be the case, that he's on track there. I don't know that it means much in this regard, but he was at the protest last week. He was one of the players that was actually up there speaking, so he's around a lot of people. So by all accounts, he looks to be good to go to get ready to play football for Tennessee and have a much more active offseason.
Yeah, if he's not showing that extra level of concern, I don't know why the rest of us should, because we're not the medical people that know exactly what the extra risk might be, if it's even there.
Right, and from everything that we've heard from UT, it's all systems go. Right. So, I mean, they're not going to give you a day-by-day on his situation. When we come back, there's an area where Tennessee is lagging behind its SEC rivals. We'll show you what that is, and it makes you wonder if Tennessee is now Kentucky. Is Tennessee now Ole Miss? I'll show you. Come on back.